Hi, Dr. Amos. Here is my video for the engagement table. Please excuse Clifford in the background. My daughter's watching it, so hopefully it's not too distracting. So the first standard that I'm going to be covering is MSLS1-2, and that's develop and use a model to describe the function of a cell as a whole and ways parts of a cell contribute to the function. So what the students are going to be learning, parts of cell, their function, and how they work together. Um, in this project, it'll be a multi-day project. Students are going to be working in groups, and they're going to design their own organelle trail wanted poster that's based on a specific organelle. So it's kind of based on an old-timey Western theme where they're making these wanted posters. I will provide model posters from previous years so students can see kind of exemplary work and kind of exactly what I'm looking for. I give them kind of a template sheet to fill out, and then they do research to fill out specific things that I'm looking for. So they can use their workbooks, they can use the internet. Once the posters are all done, I hang them out in the hallway, and then the students actually judge other posters using a rubric that I provide to them. So as the students are judging, they're going to be learning about the other organelles that they didn't actually cover. Um, and this would be IPI level 5. So there's pretty good student involvement and engagement in this project. Student learning will be demonstrated by their posters and the sheet they fill out while they're researching their posters. The posters will be graded using a rubric that was provided to the students before starting the project. Now, with the rubric and the models, the project expectations and learning goals are known ahead of time, which really helps in that learning process. And students are going to be using cooperative learning to produce a product, which increasing learning compared to individualistic learning. For the second activity, the standard is MS LS1-3. So you're going to use arguments supported by evidence for how the body is a system of interacting subsystems composed of groups of cells. So students are going to be learning the levels of organization, the function of each level, and then how parts within a level work together to perform a specific function. For this activity, the students are going to be doing notes, but they're Freyer notes. So it's kind of this blank template that they fill in for each of the organ systems that they're going to be working on. The students are going to use either the internet or their workbooks as resources to help them fill in. And there's going to be model notes will be shown to the students, and we will discuss each one of the sections so they'll know what type of information to put in the each little chunk. This will be IPI level 3, so it is kind of along the lines of the worksheets and obviously their notes, but I feel like it's a higher engagement type of notes. They're not just copying something from the board, they're actually researching the information and synthesizing it into their own words. The completed Freyer notes will be the proof that the students succeeded in meeting the learning goals. Students are reviewing the notes as they are researching information to put them into their own words. Sorry, I have a typo there. And models will be provided, which is going to help with that engagement. Note taking requires students to summarize the information they find from valuable resources. So again, they're not just copying down information, they're actually having to synthesize this information on their own, which is a pretty higher level thinking that they'll have to be doing. The third project is MS LS4-1. So students analyze and interpret data for patterns in the fossil record that document the existence, diversity, extinction, and change of life basically the history of Earth. So students will get a perspective of the history of Earth, where life fits into the history, and how life forms have evolved over time. I did this project last year with students, and it was a blast. So each class will put together a timeline using a roll of toilet paper. Students will be given dates, or will be given dates, sorry, and will need to determine where on the toilet paper roll that date will go, basically using math. So they need to convert um, or scale down the history of the Earth and get it to fit on this roll of toilet paper. Each student will have a specific task that they will help to complete the timeline. So not every student is going to be doing every task. Students will complete a short worksheet at the end to answer questions about the timeline, just so it'll help kind of wrap everything together for them. So this would be IPI level 6. So again, pretty higher level thinking here for the students. They're kind of having to do some problem solving. How are they going to fit this onto a roll of toilet paper? It's a hands-on activity. Like I said, it was really good last year. So how I'm going to know students are learning, the teacher will monitor the progress and will gauge how well students are understanding the task. So as this is going on, I'm going to be getting a really good feel of, what exactly students are taking away from it. If there is some confusion, whole class discussion may need to take place to make sure students understand the learning goals. So this would take place after they do the worksheet, just to make sure that all the students are really kind of coming together to the same point. And again, the worksheets will provide that evidence of student learning. Students will be engaged using physical movement. So this is, a roll of toilet paper is pretty long. They're going to be up and down the halls. It really gets them moving, really gets them engaged in this activity. Students will also be working cooperatively in a whole class setting. So it's not even small groups that they're going to be working in. They have to cooperate as a whole class, which kind of can be challenging sometimes, definitely, but it's a good skills for them to be learning is, how to work well in larger groups. And the last task I have here, the fourth one, so LS3-2, develop and use a model described by asexual reproduction results in offspring with identical information. Basically, students need to know genes are passed down from parents and determine traits in offspring, effects of dominant and recessive traits, and each parent contributes 50% of the genetic material. I did this this year, and it was a blast. So each student creates their own unique smiley face based on coin flips. So they flipped coins for 13 traits and draw the smiley face based on the phenotypes that result from the coins. So basically, each phenotype has a dominant and recessive allele, and by flipping the coin, you determine which trait the smiley face gets. So they determine, eye shape, face shape, nose shape, kind of things like that. The student's completed smiley face will provide evidence of learning. Completed smiley faces will be displayed in the hall as well. Students are somewhat competitive with the drawings and joke about not wanting their faces to be the opposite sex. So there's kind of bringing in this competitive edge to it. Students will be able to use creativity in drawing and naming their faces. So that's going to be engaging to, kind of some more of those creative types of students. Students will quickly realize that the traits of their faces are determined by chance, not by their wishes. And the last one, sorry, this is getting a little bit long. Try to go quickly through this one. So LS1-6, basically talking about photosynthesis. Students will need to know or are going to be learning that photosynthesis requires sunlight and carbon dioxide. Product of photosynthesis is glucose. With this activity, students are given pictures of leaves that have gone through kind of this experiment. Um, either light's taken away or carbon dioxide's taken away, and they see the results of that. They're given an experiment sheet that they have to fill out kind of backwards. So they are given the results of the experiment, those pictures, and then they have to actually fill in the experimental sheet working backwards. They need to come up with the purpose, the hypothesis, the materials, the procedure for the experiment that was done for this. um, So this would be IPI level 6. This is a lot of problem solving, a lot of higher level thinking, trying to fill in this sheet. Student progress will be monitored by teachers as lesson is going on. Completed lab worksheet will provide evidence of student learning. A whole class discussion will take place at the end of the lesson to understand content covered. Students will have missing information that they must work together to solve. So that's really going to get them engaged. Kind of that missing piece lures a lot of students in. And the students will be engaged with problem-based learning, which shows an increase in learned skills in students. So I thought this was really interesting with this research. It doesn't exactly show that students increase their knowledge of like fact-based knowledge, but with problem-based learning, they really increase their skills, which has been a huge shift the last few years. Is we want our students to have skills, not necessarily fact-based knowledge, but these really good skills. Sorry that went a little bit long, so I'll cut it off there. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thanks, appreciate it.